All right, you are live. All right, we're live. Hey guys, it's Mark, and just wanted to say thank you. Okay, hopefully, being that this is the first time we're doing this, we can cut out any problems. So, make a couple of posts here. Tell you guys what is going on with the channel. If you guys are interested in helping support my channel, there is the link to my Patreon. And if you wanted to make a one-time donation, there is a Buy Me a Coffee. So both those are in there. We have initially we were going to wait till we got 500 subscribers. That was the whole idea. And unfortunately, everything started going up. It was just kind of really weird right after the election. I'm not going to get political or anything like that, but prices went up. And like StreamYard, for example, was like $25 a month. And it allows me to post on Facebook and, X and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I can have up to like 10 people on a chat if I want. So it actually went from $25 a month to $50 a month. So yeah, that was something that I really, really was like, okay, not exactly expecting that, And then of course car registration came up and that went up like another $50. So it just was like, all right, the man's not even in the White House yet and prices already going up. So my thought process here was, all right, let me get on live streams, and once a week on Monday at 8 p.m. I'm going to be doing a live stream whereby we'll talk about different things. We will discuss different things. For example, there we go. New York Times, dated Saturday, May 8th, 1915. Headline reads, Lusitania sank by submarine, probably 1,260 dead. This was the picture that I saw in my American history class. This was the picture of the Lusitania. You can see the X marks that mark two. Okay, so if you can see, there's like two X marks, one real close to the other, and then there's another one forward just by just before the first funnel. And again, this is what my history class put on, And let's just continue here. Right by each other, and then a third. These were supposed to be where the torpedoes hit. The unfortunate problem was U-20, the German U-boat that fired on the Lusitania, only fired one torpedo. Yeah. It's kind of amazing. Doesn't always get it right, or propaganda does. Yeah, and again, it's kind of funny because U-20, it's confirmed, U-20 only shot one torpedo. One more thing, Lusitania was sank in 1915, which is why we went to war, but we didn't go to war to 1917. So, were there any real munitions on the Lusitania? When I was taught in history class, no. Lusitania was sunk by a German U-boat, U-20. It was hit by 3 torpedoes, when actually the truth was it was hit by 1. As for munitions, yes, the Lusitania was carrying munitions. Rifle ammunitions, 4.2 million rounds. artillery shell casings, almost 5,000 filled with shrapnel, brass percussion fuses, 3,240, aluminum powder could be explosive if it was thrown in the air by a torpedo. Okay, so another thing that was never covered in history class was the fact that the Lusitania was carrying ammunition. It was carrying munitions. And what I was taught in history class was Lusitania was a passenger liner. It literally was torpedoed by the Germans, and it was an immense loss of life. But none of this ever came out. And even in history class, it was never told. But yeah, Lusitania was carrying munitions for the British Army from New York to Liverpool. The Lusitania had, for its time, a revolutionary new elevator system. Many passengers funneled their way up the stairs onto the boat deck, while others opted for the new elevator system. About 3 minutes into the disaster, the power died, and anyone still below deck was plunged into darkness, making navigating the halls inside the ship next to impossible. Many would go down with the ship. Many passengers now trapped inside the first-class elevators, with crews trapped in the butcher's lifts and the cargo lifts. Can you imagine that? I mean, I realize that it was kind of a neat, novel thing, but the unfortunate problem was Lusitania sank in 18 minutes. And 3 minutes in, the power goes out. So if you're below deck, you just plunge into darkness. There is no making your way up front because you can't see your hand in front of your face. Captain Turner had ordered Lusitania turn towards shore after the torpedo impact in hopes of beaching the ship. But with the loss of steam pressure, the steering gear was now locked in place, and the Lusitania slowly completed a U-turn over the course of her sinking. Captain Turner was bitter towards the Admiralty and First Lord Winston Churchill for their attempts to exonerate themselves at his expense. He never forgave them and remained bitter until his death in 1933. Okay, here's kind of the interesting thing about Captain Turner. Everybody blamed him because of what he did, because he hugged the coast and stuff like that. And the fact is that the British Admiralty was tracking U-20, but nobody ever said anything to the Lusitania. Nobody warned the Lusitania, hey, go up and around Ireland. Nobody did anything. So the problem is that the British Admiralty could have at least sent a destroyer to escort Lusitania, and they didn't. It was just kind of one of those things of, hey, don't worry about it. So. Okay, so what I'm basically doing is I'm figuring this out for like the first time is what I'm doing. It's been a long time since I've done a live stream with you guys, and yes, I had my stop sharing. There we go. I had my other channel. Really didn't want that. Okay, this is we're gonna figure this out. This will be good. Okay, so and for Lusitania was interesting, but also, and again, it's kind of fun. just going over stuff. I'm really into the British military. We put James Bond on here. The ABCs of doing those guys. And I took down the original intro I had because it was just way too long, and I like the 15-second intro that I currently have. Um, okay, so this is going to be kind of fun because this is basically going to be me watching myself doing a live stream. I'm the part-time British guy. Okay, I got a reaction video for you. We're going to react to a RAF Harrier GR7 in cockpit. What I want to do is I want to ask a lot of questions. Yeah, I'm really into the RAF, that people may or may not know. So I'm not going to get into the whole background about the book of writing and stuff like that. But I want to really, really just get into this. I'm going to have a lot of questions, and let's share this. Okay, here we go. A vampire. That is a vampire. Yep, that's what I said. That's what that is. I know that for a fact. That was pretty fast. That came out. Yep, that's a vampire, all right. Okay, this is by Fast Aviation Archive. The interesting thing here, like obviously it's a cockpit view, but the wings look tiny. Look how tiny those wings look. I mean, I realize it's a Harrier and stuff like that, but it looks positively tiny. Up she goes. Nice. Okay. I'm not really familiar with this whole heads-up display, so I don't know what all the different things are that we're looking at, but if anybody does know in the comments, please let me know or take a guess. I mean, N obviously could be north. I have no idea what F is or E is. 5959, I have no idea. Let's go. Oh, okay. G is for G-force. I do know that. So right now he's pulling 1.3 Gs. So, haha, I knew that. Okay, I'm going to actually pause this one because it's kind of like, okay. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is on Battle Over Britain, which I watched the movie, and a lot of people didn't like it, and I liked it, and I wanted to talk about it. Here we go. Okay, so right now it's pretty intense, you know. I think part of the basic problem. Just trying to fix my volume here. Just give me a second here. Oops, sorry about that. Volume? Chair squeaky. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so what we're getting a lot of is that guys, don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and just by
leave a
looking
comment.
at like the various pictures. Let me just see if I can, like this guy right here. Let's just go right here. You know, you got this intense look. And then again, where the heck did my still technical difficulties, right? Over. Now I can at least know what I'm looking at. So you got this intense look. You know, everybody's got this, you know, squinted eyes, that readiness, ready to fight look. You know. You know, I just look at this guy right here. You know, he's got his arms folded. You know, he's just like always on the defensive. This guy looks like he's ready to puke. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna puke. Yeah, he puked. Okay, that's a phenomenal shot. You know, and you know, obviously you've got the ready bell, which is over here on the far left hand side. You got a pilot sitting in the chair, and of course, you got his fighters literally right there. This is it.
B-flight.
Ring the bell and run like hell towards your fighter. and that's and that's kind of the thing. And I don't know if I say this in this particular video or not, but the thing is that when doing Consequences, which is the book I'm helping to write, it basically is about an American who joins the RAF. And obviously things are different from the way they are in the United States to the way they are in England. You know, in 1942, which is when this character joins, Germany is like pounding the hell out of England. Yeah, there was the Battle of Britain, and yes, they survived. And the German Luftwaffe lost an immense amount of planes, but they were still conducting raids. They were still sending fighters over and stuff like that. So the RAF was still being harassed. It didn't matter. I mean, this guy's in full uniform, but the guy right behind him doesn't even have his jacket on. He's just got his shirt on. He just throws on a life vest, and it's running for his fighter. So, and that's the way it was. Wow. I'm not sure, but those could be Henkel 111s, I think. I think we're actually find out if those were Henkel 111s. I am not that good at airplane recognition. I'm working on it. But if you guys actually do know, please leave a comment and let me know. I would greatly appreciate that. Okay, see that's just hang on. Okay, right here, literally he's just got a shirt and tie on, you know, and he's out in the fight. You know, there is no flight suit. If you're not wearing your flight suit, whatever you're wearing, excuse me, the cockpit of your plane in, that's what you flew in. You know, there was no I need time to change. You simply went into battle with what you had on. I really want to see this. You know, yeah, coming soon. And unfortunately, and if it comes to the United States, that would be so awesome. Okay, so yeah, I did get a chance to get the video. I did watch the video, and like I said, I really did enjoy it. And that was kind of the thing. I just enjoy making like videos, like this particular video, which is born in the wrong place born in the wrong time and place. Might need more coffee. And that's
Hey,
the
guys.
thing. I do enjoy um, going over like the various videos and stuff like that. I do enjoy because the kind of the thing with the live stream, especially when you first start doing a live stream, nobody knows yet. Hey, you're doing live streams every Monday at 8 o'clock, and it takes a while for people to kind of to know that. So when you have like 300 and I think it's 83 subscribers, not that many people know. If you have 5,000 subscribers, some people are going to know and they're going to join. So I kind of have to fill up that time by showing some videos and stuff like that. And I don't mind doing that because I get a chance to talk about like the video we saw when we did the Lusitania. The interesting thing about the Lusitania was even in the 1960s, we were still taught that it was a German submarine attack. They fired 3 torpedoes into it, which was wrong. And, many Americans died. And we went to war, but it kind of glazed over the fact that, okay, yeah, we went to war, but the Lusitania was sunk in 1915 and we didn't go to war in 1917. So it was like a whole 2 years. It wasn't like Pearl Harbor, whereby we were attacked on December 7th, and on December 8th, we declared war. So that's kind of enough for the RAF. Okay. This might be a little controversial for some people. I understand, especially given the climate today, but kind of feel bad for Major John Andre. He was born on May 2nd, 1750. He was an aristocrat. He very much was a Renaissance man. And the interesting thing about John Andre was he was the person who was the go-to person between the British Army or the British military and Benedict Arnold. Now, yes, I'm glad we didn't lose the war, but the problem is that when the Americans captured John Andre, uh, the people that captured him were pretty much bandits, and when they realized that he had papers about West Point hidden in his boot, they turned him over to the authorities for hopefully, some sort of a reward. But the problem that Washington had was he had this major. He didn't care about John Andre. He wanted Benedict Arnold, who managed to escape when he found out that John Andre had been captured. And he just hightailed it out of there and even left his wife, who was pregnant at the time. So, the British officer served as the head of British intelligence operations during the American Revolution. On September 1780, he negotiated Continental officer and turncoat Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold secretly offered to turn over control of the American fort at West Point, New York, to the British. Just in case you weren't sure. Now, here's the thing, okay? This is HMS Vulture. This was the ship that Andre was on. And the problem was, being the Vulture was up the Hudson, it came under cannon fire from Continental forces, and she had to basically move to a safer distance, literally stranding Andre behind enemy lines. So that's kind of important to know. Andre was forced to return to British lines from the meeting with Benedict Arnold, though the American controlled territory, while wearing civilian clothes. According to Andre, Benedict Arnold was the one who basically said, here, get out of uniform, here are civilian clothes, you're going to be able to pass through the checkpoints without a problem, here's a pass. Of course, this is a drawing of Andre and, of course, the three Americans. Now, this occurred, I believe, in Tarrytown, New York. Andre was something like the Americans. Andre was subsequently convicted of espionage by the Continental Army. Now, I don't recall if what I put into this particular video, but the interesting thing is, if you go to the Library of Congress and you type in George Washington and John Andre, there were letters that were sent to Washington begging for Andre's release. And I can't so much imagine Washington's response or reaction, because this was the only prisoner he had. He felt, Washington would have felt extremely betrayed by Benedict Arnold, because literally if the British had gotten a hold of West Point, the British could have literally just cut the colonials in two. New England would have just fallen, and then you would have just turned on the South, So I think it was said, and I don't have the quote, and I'm not sure, but it is said that George Washington basically said he would gladly trade 10 John Andres for one Benedict Arnold. That's how much he wanted Arnold. But the problem was Arnold had escaped. He'd gone to the British lines, and he had already joined the British military. Seeing the news, John Andre is reported to have said, I resigned to my fate, but I detest the mode. Because it was a different time. In 1780, as a soldier, as a major in the British Army, to be shot by a firing squad would have been acceptable to John Andre. Now, John Andre did ask permission to be in uniform. Please, let me die as a soldier. So Washington kind of granted half the request. He was allowed to wear his British uniform. His uniform was sent for him, but he was being hung as a spy. And the problem is that in 1780, being hanged was like the lowest of the low things you could do. It was like the bottom of the barrel. There was no honor in being hung. This is actually the monument that marks the spot where Andre was hanged. This is a real thing. It's in obviously a cul-de-sac. There are houses there and stuff like that. And this marks the spot where he literally was hanged. And there's an inscription on there. John Andre was executed on October 2nd, 1780. John Andre was a Renaissance man. He had a certain elegance to him. He had a certain way of talking. His mannerisms were that of a gentleman. Watching himself every day in Andre to look like his brother. So I thought that was actually rather interesting, and it's kind of a sad thing in history. Now, from what I do understand, that was later. I don't remember when the date was, but John Andre's remains were moved from where he was hung and buried to Westminster Abbey. So he is actually interred in Westminster Abbey. Okay, let's because of its Remembrance Day.
Hey guys, it's Mark.
Which is 11/11. You pretty much on Remembrance Day, which is the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month, you pretty much stand for a moment of silence. And this was part of initially like the First World War, and in this video really hit home for me because, well, let's take a look at what this guy's.
I'm the part-time British guy. Okay, we got a reaction video to do. We did the reaction video, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, so hopefully I can do this right.
There you go.
Okay.
And again, it's kind of cool because what you have is you have a World War I soldier. Okay, and this is, I'm assuming this is London. You know, I'm not sure where it is, but I'm assuming it's London.
Okay, this is definitely different.
Yeah,
British soldier. It says reflection, remember, unless we forget.
and that's just the thing because as you can see in the film, everybody they're not ignoring him. They just don't see him. And that's what's so poignant.
So, okay. Again, this what's kind of interesting about this is they've taken a British soldier and they put him in like modern times, and people are just walking by him, they don't even notice him. So again, this is a real interesting way to get the message across, because again, it says pause, reflect, remember, lest we forget. So okay, this is an interesting way to really do this, you know, because clearly nobody sees him. So, oh wow.
See, I like the part with the phone because literally, you know, he's standing in front of the phone, and of course, they're obviously, you know, did good special effects. I don't know if that's just a picture or whatever, but clearly, like even the phone doesn't pick him up, and he just kind of like, "I'm here I am," you know. So that's what makes it so poignant.
Yeah, he's waving at people like, "I'm here. Why don't you see me?" Yeah, see, that's perfect. Okay, this says it all. This part right here. Why don't you see me? Yeah, and I don't think this is World War II. I think this is World War One. I'm not sure.
And again, what's kind of nice about this is, of course, you got mother and daughter, and of course, mom is just got her head in the phone. You know, it's okay. Yeah, I'm 62. All right, this is not attached to me. Okay, this stays on the counter. It does go in my pocket, doesn't go in the dresser, does go on the nightstand when I go to bed. It's just a phone to me, but because of the internet and because you have access to so much, it's become everybody's world, So of course the kids is just kind of like, hey, we're at the park. Let's do something other than look at the phone. If anybody knows why, please leave a comment. All right, what's up with the little girl? Okay. Just look look at the desperation in the soldier. This, and again, I don't know if this guy is World War II. I don't know if this guy's World War One. I'm really hoping that my friends will leave a comment and let me know. Actually, it would be nice if somebody actually would leave a comment and say, hey, Mark, just on the video reaction of Lest We Forget, it's World War One. I think it's World War One. I'm not 100% sure. But again, what I mentioned was look at the desperation in the soldier. He's got his hands buried in his face. He's like, nobody sees me. Nobody recognizes me. Nobody knows I'm here. But look at the desperation. Look at how this soldier looks. And then, of course, you've got the girl like on the other side of the monument. And you can kind of tell if you look at the top of the monument, it's going to be, because you can tell just from the feet that it's a soldier, because you can see the butt of a rifle right there. All right, let's go. She's tracing her finger over the words. Gave her herbs. You can see some of the words, but you can't see all of the words. And obviously there's a symbol for like perhaps the unit crest, which is at the top there. And a lot of the words are worn off. You could see God, something of God, on something, officer. You can't read everything. So obviously this is old. So again, World War One soldier, World War II soldier. I just don't know. Please, God, please leave a comment. All right, let's go. Just looking at him. Yeah, and it's the kind of thing. She says hi. She gets his attention. And she initiates the conversation. Hi. And he's wearing color now. Into color. That's. Hang on. I just gotta double check. Yeah. You don't really see the color. And now the color brightens. You can see that transition. He's up and waves. That's awesome. And he disappears. Now, the cool thing about him disappearing is he realizes he hasn't been forgotten. And I think that's the message, and that's why they did this, to basically show, hey, you got to keep this alive. You got to keep this going. Because he knows he's not forgotten. Pause, reflect, remember. That is awesome. That was too awesome. That was okay. So see, the Christmas one later. We'll probably do that more towards December. Things you may not realize about King Charles's.
What if recording high-quality content, editing like a pro, and streaming like a star was as simple?
Things you might not realize about King Charles' Royal Guard. Those guns aren't usually loaded. Usually. Royal Guard's intimidating weapons only have ammo in them when they're aware of a potential serious security threat. To say that the guards are walking around with unloaded weapons is one thing, but those bayonets say something completely different. And remember, Those guards aren't there for show. They are professionally trained soldiers, and they do know how to use them. Those black, fluffy hats that the guards wear, okay, yeah, they are not all that intimidating, but apparently in the old days, the hats were considered intimidating. So, placing the strap ensures that the hat would come off if hit without breaking their necks. Delightful. They're also quite heavy, weighing anywhere from 2 to 4 kilograms. As if that weren't bad enough, the hat gets even heavier when it gets wet in either the rain or the snow. Yikes. Those hats look so furry because they're made out of real bear fur. They tried to use a synthetic fur, but the colors ran too easily. However, that doesn't mean that the guards' hat makers are massacring bears on a daily basis. It's not uncommon for a guard to wear a hat that was issued in 1969. Another thing you might not realize is they have to pass a test. How difficult is it to become a member of the King's Guard? Since the Guard is basically a military organization, candidates have to pass the BARB, the British Army Recruitment Battery Test. The BARB test is basic logic and smarts. It also is physical and psychological as well. And believe it or not, you have to meet a certain height requirement. Yes, standing there for hours does tend to get tedious. They tend to sing songs in their head or try to remember a movie from start to finish. They've gotten pretty good at that. Sometimes they'll even try to photobomb tourists. They don't like it when you imitate their walk. One of the most iconic traits about the Guard is their strut march combo of a walk, which many tourists try to imitate. Right. And the problem is that although tourists try to imitate it, if you don't do it right, it's disrespectful. You know, one of the things I considered doing was trying to get a Royal Guard uniform, but I realized that because I wasn't in the military, that would be kind of disrespectful for those people who have earned that right. Not everybody gets to be in part of the Royal Guard. I mean, they are an army unit, but not everybody gets to do it. A lot of people try to mock the way they march by doing it all wrong, which sometimes is annoying. Excuse me. Now, you may not realize this, but one of the advantages of being a member of the Royal Guard is they actually have a better chance of chatting with the royal family than you do. And yes, they do laugh sometime or they do crack a smile. Unfortunately, it's extremely frowned upon, and a member of the Royal Guard can be fined up to a week's wages for just such an infraction. Mm-hmm. Well, that's it. That's all. Consider that. You. Excuse me. You decide to make a funny face or stick out your tongue, it costs you a week's pay. They are very serious. They're dedicated to the tradition. They are dedicated to the code that the Royal Guard stands for. Time we have. If you know anything else about the Royal Guard, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm Mark Stice. Thanks for watching the video. Bye. Okay, so live stream. There we go. So, all right, we've covered the Army. We did the Air Force. I think it's time to do something with the Royal Navy. Okay. We're going to do this one on. Hey guys, it's Mark, and as you know, I'm. Okay. This is to the ship and crew of the HMAS Sydney. Now, HMAS stands for His Majesty's Australian ship. So the Sydney is obviously a Australian ship. It was a light cruiser, I believe, and literally she was lost with all hands.
I will be the last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. I won't have your name to call. I will be the last to fall.
Now, this
When it comes to video creation, every detail matters. I go to artlist.io for music that
when I did this video, which was a tribute video to the ship and crew of the HMS Hood, it was because I had an unusual dream. And in the dream, I'm on the hood, I believe. And there are these sailors that are just walking towards me, and they're saying, "Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you." You know, and I just felt compelled to do something. So I wanted something, because the thing with the hood is because of an unlucky shot from the Bismarck, the hood sank with nearly all hands. There were only 3 survivors. Literally, only three people survived. 3 men survived, and I mean, she just went down in just a matter of minutes. So I wanted something to catch the person watching, and that's why I put in the very first part of a poem by I believe it was Hooper was the artist's name. Basically, it says, "I slept and I dreamed that life was beauty. I woke and found that life was duty." Now, the strength is Please watch the Cook Air app and Edition magazine. Soon afterwards, the Sony of our crew survived out of 1,400. Come on. Come down. Something fun. Rent. Nothing. Yeah, it took versus completely right. I wanted something. I mean, look, this is the crew complement. Look at them all. You know, I wanted something that paid tribute to these guys. So if you watched this video to this point, somebody asked you, please remember who you are. And that was the important thing. Like I said, I had this dream, and because of the motivation, because of the way the dream was, and the sailors pretty much saying, "Thank you, sir." You know, it was very kind of you. You know, it was sort of like I already did the project, even though I didn't do it. You know, but it was their way of saying thank you. And it left me with the motivation that I had to do something. And a lot of times, that's the way an artist's mind works. And I ended this way. No, you've got the credits, but there's more. Illustrations Hooper, yeah. Okay. And without getting too choked up, I did what you asked of me, lads. I hope it was enough. I put that at the end simply because, like I said, I was inspired by the dream, but I don't know if it was a dream or paranormal experience. But I did do it, and I'm glad that I did it. So we're going to cancel this here, obviously. And we're almost at our 1 hour mark. So if you guys like this video, by all means, please hit like, hit that comment. Say, Mark, you know, I want to see this, or Mark, I had a problem with that. You know, Mark, can you show me more of whatever? You know, as we do more and more programs, as we do more and more weekly videos. I'm sure that eventually your word will get out. Oh, okay, he does videos every Monday at 8 p.m. So that's it. That's all the time I have. I'm Mark Size, part-time British guy. Bye.